Hello and welcome into another episode of HTF Bets, where we go across the wild world of sports to give you bets that never miss. On today's episode, we'll be going over our picks for the AL and NL pennant, as well as looking into the Heisman Trophy race and Augie's bizarre bets. Don't go anywhere because HTF Bets will start right after this. Welcome back. To my left, as always, I have Ben Huber, and to my right, I have Diego Ortiz. How are you guys doing today, and how excited are you to not only talk football today, but also baseball?
Super excited. My two top sports, so.
Yeah, that's what they're saying, right? All of our two top sports.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, actually. I've been pretty tapped into the MLB playoffs this year.
Yeah, well, we'll start with football, just because the Heisman Trophy race has been so exciting this year. I want to start with you, Ben. What is your pick for the Heisman Trophy race? And we know that you really love college football and that you are a college football expert. So whatever this pick is, I think we have to stick by it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So one guy whose odds I do really love is Fernando Mendoza at plus 1,400. The Cuban Missile, Fernando Mendoza, on the season he has 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns, only one INT. He takes on Oregon this week. If they can get that upset, I don't think it's crazy to say that he will be the front runner. And even if they do lose and it's a good showing, he definitely saw as a great chance. I think he's a guy that's pretty slept on in these Heisman odds. He's had 5 touchdowns against Oregon, who was the number 9 ranked team at the time. They did struggle a little bit against Iowa, but I think that's expected. You come off a huge win against a top 10 team, blowing them out. You face a historically good defense in Iowa. It can be a trap game. You know, your team might not play as good. They still won 20-15. Mendoza did throw his lone pick on the season that game. But I think Fernando Mendoza is one of the top guys in this Heisman race. I think he's exponentially slept on in these odds.
Exponentially slept on?
Yeah.
What do you say? I don't have any gripes with this pick at all. I'm a big Miami fan, and just from the city of Miami. Fernando Mendoza is actually also from Miami. Mm-hmm. So I watched him at Cal a little bit. He played really well over there. Transfers over to Indiana. They're undefeated and one of the top 10 teams in the country right now. I definitely think that for a quarterback race, he is like a little bit like the odds you'd think would be a little bit like less steep for him to win this award because of the fact that he is on one of the best teams playing some of the best football in all of the country, and they play an Oregon team where if they're able to win this weekend, you'd think that his odds would get significantly lower.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I think he's been playing really well, but I just don't know if necessarily like the thing is with just narratives in the Heisman race, just kind of like any other MVP award. I just don't know if Fernando Mendoza is just going to get there.
Yeah, I think that this Oregon game will do a lot for his status in one narrative way or another. If he loses this game, they don't have as many games on the schedule. They don't have as many top 10 matchups to be able to make it up. But if they win this game, they have plenty of just resume boosting on their schedule, and they're probably going to be a top 5 team led by Fernando Mendoza. And I also wanted, with that being said on Fernando Mendoza, I want to welcome in Francisco Vera, first time ever on HTF Bets. Your pick is one that I really enjoy, so give it to us. And what is your pick for the Heisman Trophy race this season?
I'm taking Carson Beck at plus 600. As somebody who was pretty much raised in Miami, I do have to give shout out to Fernando Mendoza, Christopher Columbus legend. He's doing pretty good, but as Diego said, if he plays Oregon, that's not really good on his resume because Oregon's a really dominant team both offensively and defensively. So we just have to see how he looks like when he just comes out and play against Oregon. But in regards to my pick, I'm taking Carson Beck because obviously the Miami offense, we've seen it from the beginning of the season. They've been steamrolling every single team they played. And offensively, you look at the stats, and Carson Beck is a 73.4 completion percentage against teams that pretty much show potential to make the national championship. You have a ranked FSU, a ranked USF, and a ranked Notre Dame, and obviously they're still undefeated. His stats are now 1,213 passing yards, 11 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions against, like I said, 3 ranked teams, and obviously 2 teams that show ranked potential, but they just aren't there yet.
Yeah, I want to jump in on this one really quickly, just because if his stats don't jump off the wall, obviously he's played a lot of good teams. There's 3 top top 25 ranked wins in his schedule so far. Like 1,200 yards isn't really wowing anybody at this point, but the fact that he's done it against such high-level competition, and like as you mentioned, Notre Dame still a contender for the college football playoff. Also USF, possibly the Group of 5 team in there, and then FSU, who beat a Bama team that is now favored to win the SEC championship. I think all of those things combined is the reason why he's at plus 600 and he's currently the Heisman favorite to win this year, because he has those ranked wins already on his schedule, and then from here on out, their schedule is super favorable. Yeah, FSU was easily their hardest game for the rest of the season. If they go undefeated, and if Carson Beck is able to have a good season, I don't see a world in which he's not at least in New York, if not going to win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, honestly, that's a good take. Their schedule is pretty cake going forward. Carson Beck has looked good. He's thrown a little more picks than the other guys we're about to talk about, but he's just not Cam Ward. He doesn't really jump off the page like Cam Ward was last year at Miami. I think as a team, they're better than they were last year. But Carson Beck as a quarterback, I don't think he is the guy. He doesn't have as much hype. I think when you win the Heisman, you have to have the hype. Exactly. I don't think Carson Beck has that.
Yeah, I will say for like the performance that he has already had, like you'd want to see maybe just a little bit more out of the Miami offense versus some of the teams that they did play. That being said, they put up 40 plus against USF, and towards the end of that FSU game, the offense tapered off, but they played really well through the first 3 quarters.
Yeah.
If he was going to have a statement win, or if he was going to have a statement game, it would have come in those first couple games against ranked teams, maybe not towards the later half of the season, but I still think that he's at the very least going to be in New York because of the fact that he has a favorable schedule, and he'll probably just be throwing for a ton of yards, ton of touchdowns against these next teams. Yeah. Any final thoughts on Carson Beck?
No, yeah, I agree. Just going back to what you said, I just don't think he necessarily jumps out to you in anything. But I do think he has the talent of a Heisman caliber quarterback. I think it's just a matter of he's going to play in the rest of the season. I think, honestly, we'll see, though, because, he could lead them to an ACC championship win. There's a lot of things that you could still look forward to with this Miami team, and I think that could really boost his resume to win the Heisman. So I think it's just a matter of time with Carson Beck.
And for a legacy program with Miami, they still have not won an ACC championship, and they're yet to even finish in the AP top 10 at the end of the season. So if he could accomplish some of those things, get to the college football playoff, win the ACC championship, I think he's definitely at least in the running. Fernando, I really like your pick. Moving on, though, Diego, give us your pick.
So my pick is going to be Dante Moore, the Oregon quarterback, right now sitting at plus 500 to win the Heisman. Look, I think Dante Moore, as of right now, is the Heisman winner. Obviously, he's the one favored, but I just think his resume right now stands out more than any other quarterback. He obviously led Oregon to that huge win at Penn State in prime time on the road. Then, look, he just has the potential to lead Oregon to a Big Ten title appearance as well and potentially even win the conference. We'll see. Obviously, Ohio State is a really good team as well. But look, he's top 10 in passing in the Big Ten, and he's led a top 10 offense. And now they have that game against Indiana, number 7, this weekend. And I think if he wins that, he plays really well. I think he's going to be able to propel Oregon and his resume to win the Heisman. And Oregon's going to be looked at as one of the elite teams in college football this year.
Yeah, I think there are 3 teams that really stick out to you on paper through the first couple games of the season, and it's Miami, it's Ohio State, and it's Oregon. I think that those 3 teams clearly stand above the rest of them. They all have very key wins against Texas for Ohio State, the number 1 team in the country at that point, and then for Oregon, they just beat Penn State I know that Penn State just lost to UCLA, and it doesn't look like as good as a win, but that was a top 5 matchup when it happened, and it was also a game that it was at Penn State. It was a whiteout crowd. That was, again, one of the toughest environments to ever play in. I personally support your pick as well because of the fact that like I've said in a million different HTF shows at this point, last year I picked Oregon to win the national championship. If Miami wins, I'd be equally as happy, but at that point, Dante Moore is definitely a good choice for the Heisman Trophy at this point. Any thoughts, Ken?
Yeah, there's a reason he's the front runner. He's been Mr. Clutch all season against Penn State. Huge win there. He has also the best stats. On the ground as well, he's been pretty good too. I have no gripes with this pick. There's obviously, like I said, there's a reason he's the favorite. And if they go out and beat Indiana in my pick for Fernando Mendoza, I think this still holds in the odds. I think he still stays at plus 500. Maybe even goes a little bit down. Maybe he goes to plus 400, 300.
Yeah. Well, Francisco, I missed something with you. I have 2 questions for you. Just between those 2 picks, who would you be more worried about between Fernando Mendoza and Dante Moore? And then also, do you think Miami has a chance of winning the national championship? Kind of straying away a little bit, but quickly, just answer those 2 questions for me really quickly.
I'm more concerned about Fernando Mendoza. The Oregon defense, like I said before, is really solid, and we just have to see how he performs against Oregon. Then we'll kind of keep bringing on Fernando Mendoza in the conversation. And then in regards to the other question, I do think that Miami can win the national championship. They have a better team than last year. And so far, compared to last year, you saw how Cam Ward led that Canes offense. Cam Ward, yes, he was great. Yes, he should have won the Heisman. But you have to take into consideration that he really didn't look that good in offense in regards that he was, it seemed like every week, coming back from a deficit against teams that they should be beating by at least 20, 30 points.
I will say that was the one knock on the offense last year. It was a little bit of a slow starting offense. Sometimes the other teams build up big leads. The defense can hold them. But I want to move on to my final pick. I have, for my pick, I have John Matier, who is currently injured but possibly coming back for the Red River matchup this weekend. He currently has 1,200 passing yards, like as you see on the screen, to more than 6 total touchdowns. But there's more than 6 total touchdowns, but 6 passing touchdowns, 3 interceptions. These stats don't drive him off the wall again, but he has the it factor, and as well as he has 2 top 25 wins at this point between Michigan and Auburn. And then the rest of their schedule, I'll just read it off here. In order, they play 7 at least preseason or currently ranked top 14 teams. Preseason number 1 Texas this week, at preseason number 13 South Carolina, and then currently number 4 Ole Miss, at number 12 at Tennessee, at number 8 Alabama, home against number 14 Missouri, and home against number 11 LSU. That isn't a schedule that could be a Heisman finalist or a Heisman winner's schedule. I don't know what is. He literally, all 7 of his games are at least against teams that were projected to be in the top 14, if not are in the top 14 right now. He's one of the best players in college football right now. He was the Heisman Trophy favorite before he got injured, and his just dual threat ability has been one of the highlights of the season. I think that John Matier has a great chance. Very quickly, guys, any final thoughts on any of these picks?
Yeah, I think in terms of just the eye test, I think John Matier to me has been the one that kind of stands out above all the quarterbacks. I think the injury does kind of, hurt his case, so that's why I don't think he's going to win the Heisman.
Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a reason he's still one of the top 4 guys in the odds, and he's been out for like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
He had that injured hand, but like you said, he jumps off the page, not with the stats, but when you watch him play, he's beat top level talent, and I think he's really good.
Yeah, well, if he's able to win this weekend, I think that definitely boosts his odds, and moving forward, they have a bunch of top teams. So that is going to do it for the Heisman Trophy race, but we have our favorite sport on the desk coming up right after this.
Sorry to interrupt your show, but I want to give you a little rundown of everything we do here at the Hitting the Field Network. My name's Nick Cohen, and I'm the host of Hitting the Field, our flagship show heading into season 21. Live streaming every Monday at 2 p.m. Eastern, we talk about anything and everything sports. Tuesdays, we have season 3 of Girls Got Game. Hosts Katie Sue Christensen and Mia Flores discuss all the biggest topics in women's sports. On Wednesdays, make sure to tune into season 7 of The Combine, hosted once again by Ty Patton. This podcast dives deep into every detail about the NFL season. Next on Thursdays, we live stream season 11 of HTF Bets, brought to you by Andrew Gregg, Diego Ortiz, and Ben Huber. Any sports betting questions? I'll let the pros answer those on Thursday. Then TGIF, because we have new episodes of season 9 of Nighttime, hosted again by Matthew Bracker and Kathleen Moore. Nighttime keeps you up to date on all UCF and collegiate sports. Penultimately, Edgar Rodriguez and Patrick De Leon are back for season 2 of HTFC. Soccer is a year-round sport, so make sure not to miss HTFC. Lastly, end your week on Sundays with our vlog squad, asking the hard-hitting questions and letting you behind the scenes of our studio days. Make sure to follow us on our social medias like Instagram and TikTok to stay updated on all HTFN news. Remember to subscribe to the Hitting the Field Network on YouTube, leave a like and comment, and with that, I think we're ready for your next segment. I've been Nick Cohen, and enjoy the rest of your show.
And welcome back. Like I mentioned at the end of the last segment, we are talking our favorite sport on the desk here, MLB. So, Ben, kick us off here without further ado. Who do you have winning your respective pennant this year?
At plus 100, it was plus 185 before the big win last night. The Toronto Blue Jays, to quote the wise words of Vlad Guerrero's, "Da Yankee lose." I have the Blue Jays winning the American League. They have been on an absolute tear lately, upsetting the Yankees in 4 games, with the first 2 games being blowouts. Guerrero has been absolute money. He's batting .529 in the postseason with 3 homers. With a depleted bullpen in New York, they were still able to get it done. Absolutely electric performance, huge for the program. We love to see it. I like the Jays to keep it rolling and beat the winner of Mariners versus Tigers.
Yeah, I think with how hot the Blue Jays are at this point, I had like a little bit of a seizure there for a second. I just think that this Blue Jays team is going to be the team that comes out of the AL this year. From a perspective of just destroying a team, that's exactly what they did to the Yankees, at least through the first 2 games. The third game was more respectable from the Yankees. They obviously won. The Blue Jays still put up a bunch of runs, though. I just think that the Blue Jays are on too much of a heater right now to be stopped by either of the teams that would be in their way. I personally really agree with this, and I know that we have somebody else who wants to chime in on this in a second, but Diego, any thoughts on the Blue Jays pick?
Oh, yeah, the Blue Jays have been really impressive so far. I'm really interested in just this upcoming ALCS between who it'll be the Tigers or the Mariners. I think the Blue Jays, though, I think they probably will win the pennant at this point. I mean, their offense is just playing really well, and I think overall they're just one of the more cohesive teams in the MLB.
Yeah, I mean, Vladimir Guerrero gets paid this offseason, and then he absolutely makes an impact during the postseason, which is what you want to see from your star players, as we know that Yankee star players always do that in the playoffs. We now welcome in Edgar Rodriguez, Yankees fan, Yankees activist, very big on the Yankees in general. How are you feeling on this fine Thursday afternoon? And just tell us what your last night was about, and give us your pick as well.
Look, it's kind of worn off. Okay, it was a sad Wednesday night. Okay, Andrew Gray. Thank you for asking, by the way.
No problem.
But yeah, man. I mean, once we dropped those first 2 games, it was almost like, okay, well, game 3 we might come up with something. We did. But it was just disappointing. It was disappointing all around. You knew, okay, that the year Judge went crazy in the postseason. Everyone always trashes him for it. Oh, he doesn't show up in October. This year he did. He batted 500 in obviously the wild card series and then against the Blue Jays, but just couldn't get over the line. We can't always keep relying on just Judge. Chisholm also played well and, had his moments, right? But the Blue Jays, honestly, have to say, deserved it. And it's funny because the last time I was on Bets, we talked about the wild card race, and the AL East finished in a tie. We finished on the same exact record. So to see how the division series kind of played out, to see us lose again in the playoffs at home, to see them blaring New York, New York in the dressing room, it was kind of sad. But I will admit, Ben, that the Yankees, right? The Yankees lose with Big Papi and Vladdy was hilarious. But also, you have to say, I mean, Guerrero batting .529 in the playoffs, I mean, he just killed us. So that was the difference. But I will say that the Mariners, okay, who I think will win tomorrow, I think, they have to beat the Blue Jays. Please, Mariners, do it for us Yankees fans. I would love nothing more than to see the Blue Jays lose in the championship series now that they knocked us out. But, I mean, you have a Mariners team that's on fire. You have the likes of J.P. Crawford. You have the likes of Cal Raleigh, who have been exceptional this postseason. I don't see them slowing down.
Yeah, I just have a couple of things to say about this pick. Are you not scared of Tarek Skubal? Like, is that something that, like, have I missed something here? Like, I know that Game 5 is the all-important series deciding game. So, having a starter as dominant as Tarek Skubal on the mound, are you a little bit afraid of the Mariners pick just ending very early? Of course.
But, I mean, it's Game 5 of a division series, okay? And he'll probably step up to the occasion. We'll see if the Tigers offense can back him up, right? But look, I mean, this Mariners team, this series overall has been way, way, way more competitive than ours against the Blue Jays ever was. And I kind of wish we already knew what happened, because I would just say the winner of that series will beat the Blue Jays. But I'll back the Mariners. I think they have a great chance, even given the season Skubal's had.
Yeah, well, one point that I do like that you have on your side is the fact that you have the best nickname in all of MLB, possibly all of sports, on the Mariners. The Big Dumper is genuinely one of the greatest names that has ever been invented in all of sports. And then obviously J-Rod is on that team too. They have George Kirby starting on the mound for them, who's also a very good pitcher. So we'll see exactly how that goes. But walk us into your pick, Diego, now. We're going to shift off the Yankees and the Mariners.
Yeah, so my pick to win the NL pennant is going to be the Brewers. Right now, that's sitting at plus 180. I think tonight they're going to finish it off against the Cubs. And overall, this team has just been really impressive. Their offense is playing at an exceptional level. Obviously, we remember the Game 1 onslaught versus Chicago, where they put up like 7 or 8 runs in the first inning against them. And then they just didn't hold back. Jackson Chourio right now has 6 RBIs and hitting .545 in the postseason. William Contreras, too, right now hitting at .417 with 2 RBIs. And then the pitching, too. Jacob Mizorowski in his game 2 appearance, I mean, he was just lights out. Every pitch over 100 miles per hour, it felt like. I mean, he was unreal. He shut down that Cubs offense. And then Freddie Peralta, too, has been really, really great. Game 1, he had 9 strikeouts. And overall, this team has just been one of the hotter teams in the MLB. A really cohesive team. Ever since July, I feel like they went on that huge win streak, and they haven't really looked back since. So right now, the Brewers, to me, look like the best team in the National League.
Okay, well, I personally have to disagree, but some points to your point. I think that this Brewers team is just a feel-good story. They lose Willy Adames over the offseason. They don't really have any particular stars that really stick out to you. Right. But then you get the Miz throughout the season. He makes the All-Star game. They shut him down for the season. They bring him back for the postseason. He's only throwing 100 miles per hour. I think that just in general, this Brewers team has been a feel-good story all season long, and they're actually making it through the playoffs this year. Yeah. I think that they win their series and are able to face my pick in the NL pennant, but to decide the NL pennant. But just any thoughts on that pick?
Yeah, I mean, the Brewers have looked super dominant. I think they're going to win today against the Cubs. They had the best record in the NL, and I think they're going to get it done easily.
And just really quickly, who is your pick to win the NL? If you had to choose between the Dodgers, the Brewers, any of those picks?
Honestly, I'd probably have to go with the Dodgers. The Dodgers have looked dominant year after year. They have the best roster.
Edward, really quickly, Dodgers or Brewers?
That's another incredible series that's going to wrap up. Schwarber, Ohtani, can he pick it up in the postseason? That's going to be the question. But let's go Phillies. Why not?
Oh, okay. I didn't even give them as an option because my pick is the Dodgers sitting at minus 145 to win the NL pennant. Very quickly, I just think this team is far too dominant. Shohei Ohtani hasn't even playing to his standard, but they're still up 2-1 in the Phillies series, being able to take both of the games at the bank. And they dropped the one at home a couple nights back, but I think that the Dodgers are just far too dominant. Obviously, they have Shohei Ohtani not only batting but pitching this year. They have Mookie Betts, who stepped up to the plate. He didn't have the greatest regular season of all time, but he's batting over 400 in the playoffs. Miggy Rowe, former Marlins legend, is also on that team, batting 375 at this point. Only 8 at bats, but we'll get what you take. Teoscar Hernandez is always is playing well. Max Muncy is playing better than he did in the regular season. I just think that between pitching and hitting, this team is too dominant, and that is my pick for the NL pennant. Sorry, Diego. And sorry for this segment, because that is all the time we have. But after this, we will be back with the Augie's Bizarre Bets.
It's good.
You never got me anything for my birthday.
I don't even know what that is. I thought birthdays were every 100 years like the Kids' Choice Awards.
What?
Finally, he's here, man. He's always late.
Who? Marcus?
You good?
I'd give them one of these and one of these.
Behind every on-screen moment is a whole team of engineers and technologists.
And you can be a part of such a team through SMPTE at UCF. You'll join a team of students just like you who are ready to innovate the future of TV and film.
With SMPTE at UCF, you'll be able to connect with local industry pros, learn about new technology in the industry, as well as get backstage experience that really matters. Join SMPTE for a backstage pass to all of this.
We meet every last Monday of the month for our general body meetings. There, we discuss how new technology is being used to create new media, and we get to highlight local professionals and their specialties.
On top of that, we have some site visits planned, so tune into our social media to be notified of when those will happen.
So if you're ready to pull back the curtain and find out what really happens behind the scenes, join SMPTE at UCF.
Everybody, I'm Augie. I'm your host of Bizarre Bets, and we are back for another segment of Bizarre Bets. 2 weeks ago, I went 2-1. So if you were like me and you bet on my Bizarre Bets, you made some money, and I'm gonna get you some more this week. Instead of 3 like last week, I got 5 for you this time. And look, I got some bizarre ones. A couple sports that aren't played here, one sport I've never even heard of, and something truly, truly, truly bizarre. But going into our first pick, we got a sport that's not really played here in America, but we got cricket. A little bowler, why don't we? Look, I'm not gonna act like I know anything about cricket, but look at these defensive plays. These guys are incredible. I mean, these diving plays. Okay, we got India to beat West Indies, excuse me. That's sitting at minus 2,500. But I'm not taking that straight bet. I'm parlaying it with Pakistan to beat South Africa. Number 5 versus number 6 cricket teams in the world. It's a tough game. But if you parlay those two together and it hits, you get good odds, -101. So I like it. I like those odds personally. So, but not gonna act like I know much about cricket though. But hey, we're gonna take it. Going into my second bet, we got a little bar game, a little pub game as they call it, little darts here. We got Johnny Clayton at the number 6 in the world. He's taking on Luke Woodhouse. He's -260 to win. This pick is a 5s pick. You see a little 9-darter here. You get 6 20s or 6 triple 20s. And then, yeah, look, a 9-dart finish is very rare. He has 2 of them on TV. He is a 6-time title winner. Luke Woodhouse has 0 wins. So, hey. Also, another big reason I took this, because look at that guy. Would you have a beer with that guy? Yeah. Luke Woodhouse, I wouldn't have a beer with you, Luke Woodhouse, personally. That's just me. Johnny Clayton, I would have a couple beers with you. So that's my pick for that, and -260. And my third pick. You've never heard of this sport, and honestly, I didn't either until about 2 days ago. But men's conquer. What is men's conquer? First of all, what is Waldo doing here? But so what you do is you take a chestnut, you drill a hole in it, you put a string through it, and you pretty much just sit there and let somebody else flick at it and with their conquer, and then you win when somebody breaks. But last year, David Jenkins won it. He's 82 years old, and he had competed 46 times in this thing. But you know, I don't know why he won it? Because he cheated. He put metal in his chestnut, and he won, and he beat the cheating allegations because he even got investigated. He even got investigated for cheating, and he beat the case. So he's the favorite to win this year. And what do I think he's going to do? Cheat again. So at +250, I think he will cheat and take the victory in the men's conquer champions that's coming up this weekend. Guys, what do you think?
Dude, +250, I'm taking that. I don't care if he's a cheater. He's like TK, did the race, beat the case, all that.
Well, TK's in jail right now. But
That's
besides
right, yeah.
that, I don't, like, the conquer thing looked awesome. Like, I don't know exactly what was happening.
Yeah.
And as you were describing it to me, I still was definitely lost. But I'm taking that guy, bro. That looks electric, +250. Give me those odds. And the first one, cricket, dude. I think that you said the odds beforehand, we were talking about off air, and it's -2,500 for India to win. So it's literally just number 6 beating number 5.
India's a lock. India to beat West Indies is a lock. India's the best team. They're -2,500. But like we were talking about, Pakistan straight up was -260.
Oh.
But if you parlay them together, you get -101. So I think it's still kind of a lock.
That's good. That's a nice little strategy.
I think so. It's literally just saying Pakistan to win because India's not gonna lose, bro. I have full faith in -2,500 coming through for cricket.
Don't clip that, please.
Oh no! And the darts, dude. I was like, bro. I was seeing him hit one after another, bro. If my aim was that precise, bro, I don't know what I'd do with it because I don't know what you can do with good aim.
Hustling
but
at the bar.
Yeah, right.
A nine
I bet I can beat you in darts.
I bet I could beat you in darts. Bang.
A 9-darter's absolutely electric. This guy, like I said, Johnny Clayton's got 2 of them on air. Luke Woodhouse has 0. And Luke Woodhouse is the number 30 ranked player in the world. Johnny Clayton's the number 6 player in the world, so I'm taking him.
You know who I think could be a good darts guy? Diego, bro. For some reason, you just give darts. You give darts aura, bro. You be hitting 9-darters all the time.
He's going to hustle you like in Ted Lasso where he starts throwing with the right hand and it turns out he's a lefty.
All right. Give us bets 4 through 5. I'll give it to us.
Number 4, pretty straight up standard for this segment. It's my personal favorite, though. The late window Hawaii game, Utah State versus Hawaii. I took Hawaii earlier on a previous segment of the show. Didn't hit. So I'm going Utah State. Pretty good squad right here. They're 3-2. Their only losses are to 2 ranked opponents in Texas A&M and Vandy. Utah State has been great on offense. I mean, they beat the out of McNeese State right here. Yeah, I mean, their quarterback's doing great. He's got 11 touchdowns and 1 interception on the season. They pretty much did everything they wanted against McNeese State. So Hawaii defense isn't even that great. When I did research on them last year, earlier this year, their best part was their kicker. So Utah State at -115 to beat Hawaii. And lastly, guys, this is the truly most bizarre thing I've ever seen. I was scrolling on the internet and I saw odds for an alien abduction. Alien abduction. You heard me right. The favorite, Donald Trump, +1,600. Elon Musk, +2,000. Taylor Swift, +2,200. But as you can see, my pick here, Elon Musk. People already accuse him of being part alien. So I think he'll be the first to be abducted. Just to round out the 6 people I got odds, though, the last 4 were all tied at 2,500. Jeff Bezos, Barack Obama, and Vladimir Putin. But yeah, my pick is Elon Musk because he's already part alien.
So we know the Utah State pick is going to hit. So I just want you guys' odds personally. 1, 2, 3 will go in order. Who do you think is going to get abducted by aliens?
I mean, honestly, I think we're being a little too narrow-minded. We're thinking all Americans here, but
Well, we had Putin.
we got Putin, but he's like lower down on the odds. I think it could be like maybe like Xi Jinping, Kim Jong-un.
Okay, we're
one
going
of those guys. I don't know.
Yeah, Diego liked the sound of that, bro. He was like, he saw something in that pick. I think that Elon Musk is the pick here. I don't know that Elon Musk isn't
Mark Zuckerberg. He's an alien.
True.
That guy's an alien.
I don't know that Elon Musk isn't already an alien as well, though. So we'll see how that goes. Diego, give us your final pick.
I'll say Trump.
Okay. All right. With that, Augie, thank you for another episode of Bizarre Bets. That last one just has my mind jumbling because I'm really trying to think who is going to get abducted by aliens first. If you want more content like this, be prepared for next week's episode. We have something exactly like it coming up next week on the network, Thursday, noon p.m.